Welcome back to another episode of Kate and Isaiah Living Large. I'm Isaiah.
And I'm Kate.
And on this episode, we're going to talk about unboxing the seasons or clothes.
Do my clothes still fit?
Do my clothes still fit? Do I need to buy new clothes? I don't want to buy new clothes.
You don't want to buy new clothes, especially no bigger clothes.
Oh my goodness. But before we begin, what's new? What's the hap? I don't even know when this episode is actually going to air.
There's lots of good stuff happening. When is this episode going to air?
This will be the 13th.
I'm playing a gig. I'm doing a comedy gig on the 16th in St. George. So if we have any Charlotte County listeners, I'm performing at the Pub on Main in St. George.
Ooh.
And it's going to be a fundraiser for the Legion, I believe, because it's right up close to Remembrance. I almost said Remembrance Day. Remembrance Day. And so that should be a good time. And also there's a concert on Thursday the 21st, which I'm not going to be at, but St. Mary's Band, our band hall had a fire.
Yeah, that's so disappointing that happened.
The band has been around for 121 years, and the hall has been owned by the band for 63 years, and that's where we rehearse. I spend 3 and 4 nights a week there sometimes. Yeah. And it's our little space, and thankfully no music or equipment was horribly damaged, or instruments, so they could have been much worse, but the building has quite a bit of damage, especially on the back end. So I think there's going to be some renovations afoot, and I know they're waiting on insurance stuff, but we're doing a little fundraising concert to assist.
Nice. That's on the 21st.
On the 21st at Harborview High. So I'll have 2 Harborview bands, which are always a treat. Like if you have any anything to do with the Harborview music and theater programs, like I don't know if anybody saw Beauty and the Beast. It's truly top notch. Like Lisa Sanderson is a gem in our city and has revolutionized the music program. Yeah. She's made it really cool to join band. And her wife, Juliette Basse, does the theater, and they do a bang up job there. Like,
I used to be in music theater at Harborview.
Was Lisa there when you were there? Or
Nah,
were you still in Mr. Malloy years?
I was in the Malloy.
And Mr. Malloy's amazing too. Like Mike Malloy is an incredible man.
I was in the Malloy years.
And if it was Malloy, he set the groundwork so that Lisa could come in and just make band so cool.
I was in Beauty and the Beast when we did it back in the day.
Who were you?
I was nobody's. I was a plate. I was the candlestick maker. I was a guy drinking in the back at the bar.
So you were in the chorus, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
My grandmother, my mom likes to tell this story that my grandmother said during the bar scene, I looked way too comfortable.
It's a tale as old as time.
Tales old as time. I was also in Anything Goes.
Anything Goes. Interesting. Good for you.
There's a picture of me in a sailor outfit somewhere.
That's cute. when I was in high school, I was in Fame.
Ooh.
And a musical called Crazy for You with all the Gershwin music. And then I was on stage crew for Hello Dolly and Grease.
Ooh. I also did tech crew at Harborview. Did all the lighting and stuff, usually for like the dance groups that came in.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So anyway, St. Mary's Band fundraising concert. St. Mary's Band is playing 21st. I can't make it because I have a comedy show in Moncton, but
perfect. I'll go and won't have to worry about you being around.
Fair enough.
So that's the 21st. That's exciting. We'll have to make sure we shout that out next time we record because.
Well, this is actually going to be. Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, this comes out on the 13th.
Yes.
Not a Friday the 13th, but the 13th nonetheless.
Yes, of course. We're all looking at a calendar on Isaiah's monitor here. So that time of year.
Oh my goodness, that time of year.
Oh wait, do you have anything going on?
Nah, I got nothing.
Didn't think so.
I never have anything going on. Okay. That time of year. So it's that time of year you start thinking about putting away the summer clothes and hauling out the winter clothes. How do you feel?
Well, I haven't put on any of my winter coats yet, and I think they should be okay.
Okay.
Because I wore them last year, but I did pull out a pair of pants the other day. I was like, oh, maybe I'll wear those pants that I used to wear all the time because I was trying to look cool and they had holes in the knees.
Yep.
And I wore those pants all the time for years, and I could not even pull them up.
Oh no.
And I was like, Oh, that's not great. And then it got me thinking, like, obviously sweaters are great, and pulling out winter clothes is often easier than summer clothes because summer clothes are
a little bit more form fitting,
show a little more, but we're cozy right now. So tops are usually okay, but pants are always the death of me. We've talked about pants many times, and it always elicits the same response of, oh, now what I'm going to wear? Oh, why did I let this happen? Why am I so fat? This is awful. And then, you try to turn that shame cycle around, but it's still annoying, and it's expensive to buy new clothes.
It's expensive. And then when you get to a certain size, it becomes more difficult as well, which is always a pain. And then this time of year, I find it's almost harder to find or like fitting clothes.
Yeah. And like for me, I was starting a new job, and I just wanted my nicest clothes to put my freshest foot forward while also walking and not sweating them. But what about you, Isaiah? Is this a struggle for men too?
I think the same kind of struggle. I like my shirts and stuff to be baggy as it is. So when I'm hauling out new shirts, and I don't typically change too much clothes between summer and winter, but I like baggy clothes. And so when you're putting on some winter-esque stuff, and it's a little bit more tight, it's not a good feeling. But sometimes I do find magic money in pockets, which is always fun.
That is always a fun treat, especially when you have to use that money to buy a larger size.
That's right. But I think
or a snack.
The worst part for me is coats, because I find those are probably the more expensive thing.
Yeah.
To try and find. And in the winter, I like wearing like pea coats.
Yeah, me too.
And so on top of that, it's like trying to find the right style, trying to find the right size. And a lot of times you can't find, I have a hard time finding the size I want. The right size.
Where do you buy pea coats and things like that?
A lot of times I try and go to Old Navy.
Oh yeah.
But recently Old Navy, and this kind of hand in hand, recently Old Navy has started to not carry the sizes that I wear, or I've gotten bigger, and so but they're close if not.
How rude.
I know, right? And so the stuff doesn't quite fit as much, so I've had to start shifting over to the George Ritchie's or Tip Top Tailor, big and tall.
Yeah.
So I've started going there a little bit more often, but that is more expensive because it's just a specialized store.
Yeah, no, that's rough. I know for me, I find it really frustrating because I go to what I refer to as the fat girl store, and to buy coats, to buy pretty much everything. And they've come a long way. Pennington's, or Penn now, has come a long way in terms of fashion. Like there's much more variety and stuff that I want to wear there now than there was 20 years ago. It used to be like kind of just an old lady shop, but now there's lots of hip clothes. But what I do find is in some cases, the quality just isn't great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm spending a fortune on something that's not even going to last. Like I've never minded investing in something like a good pea coat or a good like winter coat that's going to last a few years. But that one, you get it home and it's not too tight. It fits because you bought the right size and you actually anteed up and admitted to yourself how big you are. It's the whole thing, because we've all gone through. I'm definitely this size, and squeezing into something that doesn't fit and it doesn't look good and it doesn't feel good. So stop doing that. But it fits, and then the buttons just pop off and they're not pulling anywhere.
Yeah, and that kind of gets into fast fashion. I think it's kind of, it used to just be this online thing, right? It used to be where you buy it from like Shein or Temu or whatever, and it was cheap and you knew it was cheap, and that's what you're doing. But now it is, I've noticed that creeping into retail stores, and where they have seen that that's what people are buying, and so they are getting away with it more.
Right. But they're charging
more
for it.
Right.
Like last year I bought this beautiful navy blue coat, and it is a beautiful coat. And quality wise, in terms of like sewing and all of those things, it's a well-made coat. And it had like military style buttons. Within the first time I wore it, 3 buttons came off.
Oh man.
And like not even buttons that were holding the coat together. Yeah. Like, even if you're thinking to yourself, oh well, did you really fit? Did it really fit? It was the button on the other side that was just sewn to nothing. The decorative button popped off. And without any prompting, like I just don't understand. And as simple as somebody could just be like, well, just sew the button back on and do a better job. Like, I don't know how to sew.
I have found, and this is a problem with my pea coats too, is that the buttons are not sewn on properly. I have a amazing wife who can sew, so she always just ends up sewing the buttons afterwards, because I do find they use a cheaper material to sew them on.
And it's all really frustrating because it all leads to that shame spiral for me anyway, where it's like, I can't do anything right. I could buy new clothes. I spent $150 on this coat, and now I can't even keep a button on it. And for me too, like I have a reputation like in my family for being hard on stuff, a little heavy handed. And so like, and it's like, okay, if you had just done this better, I'm like, no, I did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
But then I immediately puts me on the defense. Anyway,
especially when it comes to clothes not fitting, I go into a little bit of a rage cycle for a few seconds where I just rip it off and throw it and say, screw it. I'm not gonna wear that, and I don't care, and whatever, it's over. And then I have to like step back and go, oh, hold on, before I rage out on something else.
Yeah. Well, then I eat.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, where's the ice cream?
But that for clothes, for me, I don't like, oh, it sucks. I get angry.
Oh no, I just get sad and like defeated and really angry at myself, all inward. Like it's all my fault that this jacket was made poorly, or it's all my fault that these pants don't fit, or that they weren't made well enough and they've got a hole in them. Like last year, I bought 2 pairs of jeans last summer, and they're great. And I'm wearing 1 pair of them today, and they were my least favorite of the 2, but they're all right and they've held up. But the other pair, you ever buy a pair of pants that just fit so well, and you feel good when you wear them, and they just they cut everywhere the way they're supposed to.
I usually buy like 7 pairs, and those are the jeans I wear until they get a rip in them, and then I choose new pants.
And these particular ones were even on sale. I think they were only like $15 or something, because they were on a super sale and they were a one-off, because they're,
Yeah.
And I was just last year, and it was only maybe the 6th time I wore them, and they fit perfectly. They weren't, and they had a little bit of give in them. And this has never happened to me in my life, but they split right up the butt.
Oh.
Like it's kind of a split that you see in movies, like as a joke. Like normally when my pants wear out, they wear out in the thighs, because you get the chub rub legs rubbed together, and so I get holes, between my legs.
My pants always wear out, always rip in the crotch every time, every single time.
Okay, and
I don't know. That's where it's funniest thing. It's like I'll be getting into a car and they'll rip. Like that happened to me the other day.
Man, that's so annoying.
Very.
But I even thought I heard it, and I was at thankfully I was just at my sister's house, and I had like a long sweater on, and I was like, I think my pants just ripped. And then I kind of felt around back there. I was like, oh, maybe not. We were playing Nintendo. And then I got home that night and took them off, and I was like, oh my God, they split like right down the back end.
That's crazy. The other spot mine will either in the loop.
Oh yeah.
One of the loops always break off, or the top left corner, always the top left corner for some reason of the back pocket.
Do you keep a wallet in there?
No.
Oh, weird.
I know. It's always weird. Yeah, but I typically like rage out when clothes don't fit me. And the other thing is, what really annoys me is that clothes aren't the same sizes, even though they are labeled the same size.
I know. Everywhere. And we've talked about this before, but that's so frustrating.
Very, very. Like my jeans I have on right now were a 42-30, and we are going to as of recording this, it'll be like 2 weeks ago now, but we're going to a Halloween party, and I got some pants for that, and they're 42.30, but those don't fit me.
And you showed me the pants before we started recording, and I can tell like they're very straight leg, no give to them whatsoever. Yeah. Like in jeans, you usually have a little bit of give,
right?
But these are like straight leg pants.
Frustrating.
That is so frustrating, and you're just like, why is this happening to me?
Yeah, it's frustrating. And then, of course, the switching of seasons and taking something you wore almost a year ago and hoping that you didn't gain any weight or very little weight through the year.
It's distributed enough that it still fits.
Or the opposite too. The opposite can be for people. I know we typically don't have that issue, but the opposite of you've lost so much weight that now you've got to go and buy new clothes too is probably a little bit frustrating.
And depending on why you're losing weight though, that if you're losing weight on purpose, it's a joyful experience.
Yeah.
It's like, I get to buy new clothes because I'm new thin me.
But if you're not purposely trying to lose weight,
well, that's just a scary thing, right? Because losing weight without trying is as or more terrifying than gaining.
Right. Yeah, for sure. And so that can be definitely on the opposite side, potentially a scary, frustrating thing as well. So I definitely feel for that too.
We'd love to know what you think too, and how you cope with this and change the seasons. And like, do you have a method? Do you like go through all your clothes? Like, we'd love to know. Comment, message us.
Yeah, are you like me and just one day you're just gonna haul the clothes out and hope they fit? Because that's how I do it.
Same.
Yeah, I very much am just okay, I'm gonna try and put this on today. Oh, they don't fit. Shoot. And it typically isn't too bad, except for sometimes when it's like, oh, we have this thing I need to go to tonight, and now this doesn't fit me.
Yeah, brutal.
I have a hard time with that part. I'm not a planner very much.
Yeah, I, we're going to the same party tonight, and it's going to seem so dated, but it's already like it's the 2nd of November, and we're going to a Halloween party tonight, and
it could be a De los Muertos party.
Sure, but it's not. And and I am feeling so kind of crummy about myself, and that I don't even want to attempt a costume. That's kind of just
costuming up. Yeah, costuming up. What other when you are putting your winter clothes away, what kind of winter clothes do you have? Do you do sweaters and like just the same jeans, or do you have a whole other set of stuff you wear for winter?
Well, I mostly just add sweaters to the mix.
Yeah.
And to be completely honest, I didn't put anything away or take anything out in the last year because most of it's just piled in my bed. But I mostly just add sweaters. It's more like pants that I haven't worn in a while, or jackets. Jackets are the big thing. Like, does this jacket fit? I don't know.
Jackets are always a pain. I typically will wear mostly the same clothes, but sweaters, hoodies especially. I like zip up hoodies.
Oh yeah.
And so and then of course jackets. Jackets are the worst thing. My thing I need to start working on more is like actually better pants for the winter when I'm going out.
Because you walk around a lot.
Yeah, and I don't do as much in the winter because it's the winter, and I would wish I was in a warmer spot that didn't have snow. I don't do winter activities very often, unfortunately. But maybe this year I will do more. Who knows? I'd like to go snowboarding or skiing or something, but also I don't want to break anything.
Someday.
All right, let's wrap this up. Do you have any conclusions? Anything you want to wrap up on this episode?
Just be kind to yourself.
Yeah.
Look, to you, Isaiah, to me, to all of us, just be kind. Like, stuff happens. Do better if you can. If you can't, like, there's so much wrapped up in it, but don't let your clothes define you.
Yeah. And as we move into the holiday season, people can get a little bit more down on themselves.
Yeah.
So definitely try and be more kind to yourself. Yeah. But
where can people find you on the internet, Isaiah?
You can find me at Maritime Brews on all of the social medias. Of course, we do have the Buy Me a Coffee going on. Where can people find you?
You can find us at Kate and Isaiah Living Large on Facebook. And if you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all of those fun things. And if you're watching us or listening to us anywhere else, enjoy the sweet dulcet tones of our voices next week.
And we will talk to you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.